shadows of eternity.
The opinions expressed on this radio station, its programs, and its website by the hosts, guests, and call-in listeners or chatters are solely the opinions of the original source who expressed them. They do not necessarily represent the opinions of Revolution Radio and FreedomSlips.com, its staff, or affiliates. You're listening to Revolution Radio, FreedomSlips.com, 100% listener-supported radio, and now we return you to your host.
Hi, and welcome back. I'm Paul Stevenson. I'll be with you for the next half hour here live on Revolution Radio at freedomslips.com. And I'm delighted to say I've got the director of the Trends Research Institute, author of the Trend Tracking, and publisher of the Trends Journal, widely considered to be the top trends forecaster in the world, and that is Gerald Celente. Gerald, are you with me?
I'm with you, Paul. Thanks for having me on.
Thank you very much for coming on, Gerald. How are you doing?
I'm doing very well, thank you.
Okay, great. We haven't, we've got half an hour. So much I wanted just to sort of try and condense into half an hour. But really, I just wanted to get, if you can, just sort of encapsulate, give us a breakdown and analysis of Trump's first 100 days. It's been a bit of a freak show, Gerald, really, hasn't it? For those of us who've given him the benefit of the doubt and at least liked what he said, it's been a huge disappointment.
Well, for me, the disappointment in what he said was, as candidate Trump, he was talking more about not getting involved in foreign entanglements, and he goes ahead and sends 59 missiles into Syria. But that, of course, is ancient news now, that we don't know if Kim Kardashian's coming back and how Bruce, whatever his name, Jenner's book isn't doing, because that's doing well, because that's what the media in the States is talking about. But so people forget about that he slaughtered innocent people with those drone strikes. Well, there are also drone strikes as well in Yemen and other countries that he's launching. And 59 missiles at a cost of $100 million. And anybody that travels into the States, that you can see how run down this joint is. You go down to New York City, we're just north of it. And of course, I grew up, I'm a New Yorker, born in the Bronx, and I know New York really well. It's a trip in Calcutta. Every road in New York City is potholes and steel plates. The trains are, they're a century-old system that's rotted and decrepit, and trains breaking down, delayed all the time. And this clown sends $100 million of our dough, killing innocent people in Syria. And then, of course, the mother of all bombs dropped in Afghanistan. And, I launched OccupyPeace.us. So, I put my money where my mouth is. I had Ralph Nader, Cindy Sheehan, that's the woman that protested in front of war criminal George W. Bush's place out in Texas for several months when her son was killed in Iraq. And Dr. Robert Thurman, Uma Thurman's father, who's a renowned Buddhist practitioner, and others, Gary Null. So, I'm a man of peace, and I'm not a pacifist. If you screw with me, I'll attack the attacker. I've been a close combat practitioner for nearly 30 years, so I know how to take care of myself. So I'm not a pacifist, but, leave everybody alone, because as a fighter, the last thing you want to do is get in a fight, because I don't care how good you think you are, you never know what the outcome will be. So when I talk about peace, I talk about it as do unto others as you would have them do unto you. And now the United States, is doing unto others the way that Obama did, Clinton did, and the Bushes did.
Well, exactly right. It was an interesting, turnaround from the mainstream media. I noticed after the Syrian attack, you had the likes of Fareed Zakaria declared on CNN, quote, "I think Donald Trump became president of the United States last night." So, yeah, now that he's bombing people and bombing sovereign nations, I suppose they're happy with his performance. He's now a president. He's now the president of the United States.
What a little piece of crap that guy is. A little boy with a bad attitude That CNN little clown, the Cartoon News Network, one of the perfect clowns, he's it. These little guys with their big mouths and cojones smaller than mothballs, I can't stand them. Put the rest of them in there. Lindsey, did he come out of the closet yet? Graham, our senator from what? Look at these little boys. Look, poor little Ryan, what was he? We played Eddie Munster when I was a kid. I mean, look at these little nothings. Barack, little arrogant Obama. Can you imagine these guys leading troops? Can you imagine them in a fight?
No, well, exactly. I mean, it's just, this is what you were saying earlier about, getting into a fight. They're great at with the schoolyard adolescent hubris, but of course they never have to actually go and fight anybody, do they? In fact, another little scumbag prostitute, Brian Williams, CNN, which just reveals just total psychopathic nature of these people. He said, as the pictures of the Tomahawk missiles coming off the ship, he showed a clip of it. And he said, "We are guided by the beauty of our weapons."
I know, sick, and even Trump. It's beautiful, beautiful. I know. And this little boy, Brian Williams, this is the guy that lied that he was in a helicopter during the Iraq, one of America's Iraq invasions, and how missiles are being shot at it, and he lied. He was nowhere near it. That's why they took him off the air for a while. So you got to, I mean, you look at every one of these little boys, little Stephanopoulos, there's this other little clown, Chucky Todd, who does Meet the Prostitutes. They're all connected. Andrew Cuomo on CNN. Yeah, Stephanopoulos was Clinton's, he's with ABC, was Clinton's mouthpiece when Clinton was in. When Todd, little Chucky Todd worked for a Democratic senator. Chris Cuomo. Oh, yeah, his brother's Andrew Cuomo, the governor of New York. Oh, yeah, and Andrew, you got there because your old man was Mario Cuomo. Let's get all this straight. And you're over there in the UK, little clowns you got over there, little nothing Cameron. Yeah, I mean, one little boy after another. The Sarkozy, Hollande, now you got this Macron, and you got a bunch of crap all over the world. And that's why everybody hates Putin, because he stands up like a man.
Yeah, because he's a genuine leader of his nation.
Exactly.
Rather than a total whore masquerading as our political leaders. And of course, Andrea Mitchell, who was out, and Sergei Lavrov. Again, there's the hubris of the Western propaganda networks. They'd come in to, Rex Tillerson was meeting they had a meeting with Tillerson, and she comes in shouting her big mouth off, and Lavrov said to her, who are you? Where did you get your manners from? But if I'm correct, didn't she used to be married to Alan Greenspan?
She still is.
Oh, she's still married to Greenspan, right? Well, okay.
From what I know, yeah.
Right. Well, yeah. So that's all part of the same little club.
You got the name wrong. It's Green Scam. Another little slimy SOB who destroyed this country with a Federal Reserve crap, bailing out Wall Street. This is the guy that when the markets were crashing, rather than let them crash, let's put together a plunge protection team so we could save the casino. It's Alan Green's scam. You got it wrong. It's not spam.
And then Bernanke after that, and then we've got Janet Yellen in there today, or at the minute.
But the whole thing's a freak show. And that's why, by the way, we own the trademark, the presidential reality show, because that's all this is, man.
Yeah.
So going back 100 days, then he talked about the tax cuts he would give. And, he's giving them to the wealthy. No more estate tax.
Yeah. So
you have in America, you got 7 out of 10 people don't have $1,000 in the bank. You have Obama bragged about the jobs he created, 10 million of them. Yeah, 94% of them, according to a Harvard-Princeton study, are temporary jobs. 51% of the American people that have full-time jobs are earning $30,000 a year or less. 95% of the wealth created under Obama, depending on whose numbers you're looking at, went to either the 1% or the top 5%. So Trump comes along with his plans, and what is he going to do? oh, he was talking about keeping all that money over here in the United States. Well, under his tax plan, now the corporations could set up anywhere that they want. He also, besides the tax benefits, he's giving us, we the little people, a break. But we can't, I pay taxes, school taxes, property taxes that are off the charts. We can no longer deduct those under Trump's plan. Oh, and he's cutting, under Eisenhower, the top tax rate for the very, very rich was 90%. It's now 39.6%. Trump's going to cut it back to around 35%. So, there's a whole nother thing with taxes. There's this thing called nonprofits, which is a big scam. So all these universities that pay their professors and especially their presidents millions of dollars and their coaches millions of dollars, they don't pay any. So what I'm saying is, the whole thing is a scam for the connected. So if you want to get rid of the tax problem, let all of these so-called non-for-profits pay taxes. But no, the whole thing is a ripoff, and Trump is just part of it.
Yeah, he's just another front man who, when we know quite early, he's just another president who lied his way into office.
That's it. That's what they do.
I mean, some people are still speculating that, he's buckled and his intentions were good. But the more I look at it, I just think he's lied his way into office. What do you think?
Oh, that's what I think, too. Yeah. Look, I know these kind of guys, I mean, you should see the place where this guy was locked up as a kid. It's about 40 minutes south of me. We're in colonial Kingston, New York, 90 miles north of New York City. Just south of us is a place called Cornwall, New York. We're the same age, Trump and I. When I was growing up, every time our parents couldn't control us, they say, a little SOB, had enough of your crap, you're going to military school. That was the punishment that you would get. You lash out at your kids. Trump was so out of control, so narcissistic, they actually sent him to military school. This place that looks like a little prison in Cornwall, New York. Now imagine, here you are, if you're a guy, and what do you like? You like sports, and you like girls, and you like cars. Now, we're going to send you away, lock you up, dress you up in military drag, and play soldier because we can't stand you and got to get you the hell out of the house. That's Donald Trump.
All right. Well, I mean, as far as this whole geopolitical foreign policy thing, how crazy is this going to get? Because some of the rhetoric is coming out. We've got from North Korea saying any military provocation against the DPRK will precisely mean a total war, which will lead to the total doom of the U.S. How far do you think this is going to go? How much of it is talk and just bravado, or do you think that this World War III is going to happen?
I don't think it's going to happen. I really don't. It's particularly now you're having an election in South Korea, and the leader in this is a guy named Moon, and he's very much in favor of the making peace with North Korea. He was among the people when he was a younger guy that were protesting against the United States in the 1980s to get him the hell out of Korea. They're also, South Korea, again, the election's next week. Voting just started this week. They're laughing at Trump because he came out and said just this week that South Korea used to be a part of China. And they don't want the THAAD missile system there that the United States just installed, that Trump says they want them to pay for it. So I think we're going to see more peace. And the reality is this: the United States could talk tough, and you have a lot of crazy people, the neocons, like I mentioned, little Lindsey Graham and John Insane McCain. And by the way, Trump said he wasn't a hero. I've been saying that for years. There's a guy, McCain, that was slaughtering innocent people, dropping bombs on them in Vietnam, and his plane got shot down. That doesn't make you a hero.
No.
But anyway, these guys are crazy, and they want war. But I think at some level, there's enough understanding in there that if you really mess with China or North Korea, because North Korea will attack South Korea and Japan, that that will be the beginning of the world war. And I think there are cooler heads in charge, even though they seem a bit crazy. Here's what we think is going to happen on the war front. We think Israel is going to provoke Iran. They'll blame Iran for doing something, false flag, and the United States will get involved in it. Trump is going to Israel. Every week they keep coming out in the United States, whether it's Tillerson, the Secretary of State. Imagine that we have a Defense Department guy running it, the Secretary of Defense, John, quote, Mad Dog, that's what he calls himself, Mattis. And if you look up some of his quotes, you'll be shocked to see what he says. You get from him, you get from Trump, you get from Tillerson, week after week, hatred about Iran.
Good
calling Iran the greatest terror threat in the United States, supporting more terrorists than anybody else in the world, on and on and on. So that's where we think it's going to happen, and it's being set up already.
Yeah, and of course we just had Russia, Iran, and Turkey get together to sign this memorandum on the de-escalation safe zones. But I mean, this is likely to go the way that the other similar kind of peace type sort of negotiations. It'll be another little false flag, and it just or blame Russia for something, or blame Iran for something. And just as you've said, and do you see any substance in this de-escalation memorandum?
Hello.
Can you hear me, Gerald?
Hello?
Gerald, are you with me?
I'm back. Yeah, we went off the air here.
That's all right. We're just going to wrap up anyway, but I was just going to say, do you, this whole Russia, Iran, Turkey signing the memorandum on the de-escalation zone, do you think that anything will come of that, or will it be just go the way all the other attempts of peace in that area?
It's hard to say because, I think that possibly with Trump calling and Putin speaking this week, that may be a lead into something positive. So again, we could reschedule this, Paul, so we'll have more time to talk soon. I'm sorry about what happened to getting cut off.
That's all right.
The other thing to do is to start looking at the equity market. Something big is happening. They say we call copper Dr. Copper, because copper is a financial indicator of what's going on in the world, and copper prices are coming down sharply. They're moving up a little bit, but China is the biggest user of copper. About 40% of it is used by China, and copper prices have been falling. Oil prices are falling again. So we're looking for some kind of a shakeout on the global equity markets, because something is going on that's not making the radar. Car sales in the United States here are way down, lower than expected, and also you could buy a car here in the States, the subprime auto loans, where if you don't have a job, you don't have a place to live. You need a place to live. You could drive a car, but you can't drive a house. You can live in a car, but you can't drive a house. So the subprime auto crisis is building. So people should be very tuned into these things, because this could be the canary in the equity mine shaft.
All right, great. What about silver? I saw someone talking about silver recently. They reckon that it would be a good investment at the minute as well.
We don't give investment advice, but silver is also used more for manufacturing. And again, this is a bearish time for precious metals. As long as interest rates go up in the United States, gold prices go down. The stronger the dollar gets, the weaker gold gets. But gold is still nonetheless a safe haven asset. So in all the craziness going on, that's the kind of asset you want when things go sour. And by the way, that's one of the reasons Bitcoin is going so high. But the problem with Bitcoin is that governments could regulate that very easily, but just as they do with shorting the gold market as well. But demand for gold and silver is down. It's leveled off in China and India, down in the States. So even physical is down. So again, it's a safe haven asset, but our forecast is that gold has about another $100 downside, and it won't get strong until it goes over $1,400 an ounce, steady over 14.
Okay, Gerald. Thanks very much for coming on, and we'll do something again, hopefully soon.
Take care, man. Thank you.
All right. Take care. Bye bye.
Thank you for listening to Revolution Radio.